I found out that the Buddhist law is split up into three stages.
Yes.
And well, basically, the third stage is whenever Buddhism gets diminished and nobody practices it anymore. And that's whenever the belief that the future Buddha will arrive and bring back Buddhism. And there's many different depictions of him because no one really knows what he's going to look like.
Okay.
So, but he'll have several followers, and I think one of the followers is named Asanga, which created the Hoso sect. And then there will be his brother too, which I think his name is, it starts with V, like Vasa Bunda or something. And then he'll have the triads to help him.
Yeah. I think most of you recognize this Happy Buddha, right? I have many young people locally who came to our monastery to ask for this happy Buddha so that they can pat his belly. Good luck, is that right?
Yeah.
You seen this image of picture as some Vietnamese Chinese restaurant, right? So does he? Yes, he does. That's a picture, that's an image, but in different forms. You see that this is Chinese style, this is Chinese, and this is Tibetan, and this is the Indian style, and so forth. Why? Someone asked why he has different image, different features. Why?
I think it depends on the beliefs of the different sects.
You can say that plus, for Buddha or even the Arhat or the great Bodhisattva, they have the psychic power. They have ability to transform themselves into different forms according to needs of the followers, individuals. So this, let's say the first Buddha or Happy Buddha images come from China. There's some legend involved with this kind of image or picture. Is that he was a fat monk in China, and wherever he go, he carry a bags, whichever food or whatever thing people get him, he put everything inside that bag. And when he see the children, he pass it home, like Santa Claus. And before he passed away, he say, "I'm a matric Bodhisattva," and after that, he's gone. So the reason why in Chinese Buddhist tradition they describe him, but in Tibetan tradition is quite different. So again, later on we talk about the compassionate Bodhisattva, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. He has 32 manifestations. We talk about that. Okay. Again, so this Bodhisattva will be the future Buddha. Remember, if you believe in reincarnation or if you understand Buddhism views about the reincarnation, about the past, present, and future. So this infinitesimal number of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the past, now, and the future too. So here's the one that will appear on this time. That is numerous Buddha in somewhere else around our universe, in different galaxies. They are all there, but we have not recognized them yet. And again, this Bodhisattva here reside in the inner of Tusita heaven. We talk about that. Tusita heaven. Tusita heaven. That's it in the reside realm. The celestial beings or the heaven beings who live in this realm, in this heaven, their lifespan is about 9 million years. Yeah. Okay. So you want to show? Thank you. So again, this Bodhisattva, according to Buddhist tradition, will appear in this earth next 500 million years. And I don't know whether our earth still survive up to that time or not. And remember, in Mahayana and Theravada traditions, we have this Bodhisattva, later on we study about the difference between Mahayana and Theravada tradition. You see that in the Theravada tradition, they only accept or recognize this Bodhisattva. They don't accept any celestial Bodhisattva besides it. Accept it. You understand that? You see why. Okay. I will wait for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you do the past Buddha.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
I found this interesting. I guess you were already talking about it because
Yeah, please.
some of the websites said that there have been 28 Buddhists.
Yeah.
You just said that you only accept one of them, so pretty much that's really all I had. The custom in different, the Theravada, is that how you say it, countries, it's custom for the Buddhists to hold elaborate festivals to honor 28 Buddhas. For example, in the various parts of Manera, festivals are held to pay homage to 28 Buddhas, especially fair season weather. They're said to have attained enlightenment. I guess, you know, some other websites said that they're not really, are they Buddhas or are they not? Because some of them said no. Some of the research I did said no, that there was only the one Buddha, the Siddhara, but then others said there was 28. And then I found also a 23-year-old from Nepal.
Okay.
Who's held to have been the new Buddha. According to his brother, they saw a very clear white light different from sunlight emanating from his head on November 8th, 2005. He says that he's not the Buddha, and he tells the people not to call him the Buddha. But people do it anyway. So that's really all I have.
Okay, thank you. Let me put this way, like I just mentioned to you, that according to Mahayana Buddhist view, an infinite number of past Buddha, present, and future Buddha. Not only 28. 28 is according to the Theravada traditions.
Right, they're over the
So please don't be confused. Alright, and like you mentioned about the Maitreya Bodhisattva, the future Buddha. He will be the future Buddha here, but not in different galaxy. Now, you know, according to Buddhist view, we have some Buddhas out there in different galaxies, but that we don't know of. You understand that? That's his view. So again, so don't limit yourself at 28. And even at our monastery, we have a thick book, like the one that I gave to you last time. That contains more than 10,000 names of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that we try or we bound to. That is only for the devotional practice. Okay? Yes. All right, let's move on. Good to see you back all. So, how was your Monday? Terrible or warm at home?
At home.
At home, okay. Yeah, this is terrible, right?
No, it was very good.
Good, right? Good to take a break for a while, right? Okay, good. Let's move on. Yes. Oh, I left a question. Hope no one noticed. Okay, okay, that's okay. Now, again, the reason why I want to review with you about this reading this one, but partly because we missed the class on Monday, and I think this subject is really interesting, and we'll try our best to go over the reading this one, number 14 too, so that we can go to the next one, the 15th. We make up for Monday. Okay, so Avalokitesava. Now remember, in Buddhism, especially the one who achieve the arhatship or the one who are Buddha or great Bodhisattva, there's no distinction of gender. There's no male, female. They can appear. They can transform themselves either female or male, depending upon the believer. This, you understand that? Because their mind transcends the gender. That is why they can manifest themselves in any forms. You understand that? Right. So this Bodhisattva, especially like Jepmo mentioned to you, this popular one. When whichever temple you visit, like Tibetan temple, Chinese, Vietnamese, Korea, or even Japanese temple, you will see this Bodhisattva a lot. And even, let's say, if you stop by Chinatown in San Francisco, New York, or LA area, and you want to buy some things from Chinese store or Vietnamese store or so forth, you will find this Bodhisattva. Not much with the Japanese Buddha statue, because he or she is very popular. And according to the Lotus Sutra, who did Lotus Sutra last time? Oh, you do? You did. Right. There is a part, I think chapter 25, to talk about this Bodhisattva who appear who can transform him or herself in 32 forms. He or she can transform into the form of Buddha, Bodhisattva, even student, teacher, even young people, and so forth. In any form that can be helpful for people or for social needs.
What's the name? What's that?
This one here.
No.
You see that Avalokitesvara there, right there, that corner here, right here. Yeah. This one here.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Let me
Yeah.
write that down.
So these are, you can say her or his picture or image in different forms. And that's this right here. If
What's
you
that
resist,
one right there? Got 8 arms.
yeah, okay, let me show you here. Why? Look at this one here. Many arms, right? Let me see here. Oh, let me.
The other one.
Okay, here. This is in the feminine style, right? So this is the Vietnamese and Chinese style. And this picture or image of her, let me see here. Okay, this one here. This is popular one. According to some of us, the refugee during after the war, they escaped from Vietnam to different countries like Malaysia, is very visible. On the sea, on the high sea, they got a response from her, who ride on the dragon. And remember, of course, in the West, dragon is like the evil, right? Evil,
Like
animals,
eagle.
right?
Yeah.
Evil, right? Animal, right? But in the East, dragon is one of the most powerful creature, especially in Buddhism. Yeah, so this image is really popular in our Vietnamese Buddhist tradition that show his response to the core or the needs of sentient beings, especially the ones who are in despair, who are in poverty and so forth. So
Okay, so you saying that they took that image?
yes, they took that picture.
Uh-huh. And it represent like in
Not
Vietnam?
represent when they call out her name, his name, they saw her image that appear on the ocean to help them out.
Oh, okay.
That's, you can say that's a miracle in the religion. Yeah. Okay, so let's just move on. I'd like to move on quickly so that I can have time for the next during this point. Okay, what do you have, Aisha? Bodhidharma?
Yeah. Well, he was a Buddhist monk. He lived during the 5th and 6th century. He's traditionally credited as the transmitter of Cha'an, which is
Yeah.
a school of Buddhism in China. And he's regarded as its first Chinese patriarch.
Yeah.
He began the physical training of the Shaolin monks that led to the creation of Shaolin. And he was the father of Zen Buddhism. And
Yeah. Thank you. who know this picture? Oh, you okay. How about order? You don't know? You recognize it? Yeah, if you go to Vietnamese or Chinese temple, you will see his image picture because he's considered as a first project of Zen Buddhism in China. He was a prince. He was an Indian prince, and after he left his civil life, he went to search for a teacher, and his teacher parents the Zen tradition to him, and later on his teacher advised him to go to China to spread the Zen tradition. And they say that when he went there, no one recognized him as a red master or teacher. So what happened? He went to a mountain, a Shaolin temple. You know Shaolin, right? You hear that word? What is Shaolin? Okay, that's one later on. So he went to that temple and sat for 9 years to face to the wall. Imagine that someone sit by the wall and face in for 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah, and this one, not many people recognize him, but some, especially some Zen master. So there's one Zen master. He came to seek the teaching from him. And what happened? He kneeled down on the snow for 3 days. Imagine this is too cold outside there, right? Even when you sit out there, it's still cold. But people kneel down. That shows sincerity. So when he turned around and told that monk, "Why do you need to kneel down for?" He said, "I want to seek a teaching from you." And Buddha said, "What? That's just show off. It's not. Your dedication is nothing to compare with the Buddhist in the past when they sacrificed their life for the teaching." So what happened? So very calm. That's his student. Hui Ke, the Chinese one, went back and chopped off his arm to show his sincerity. You may be surprised, like this is so extreme, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's pretty
You
extreme.
see that. And even especially in the Lotus Sutra, some Bodhisattva in the past, they burn themselves as the act of offering the body to Buddha as Bodhisattva too. So that's why the monk, the Vietnamese monk who brought himself to protest the communist regime in Vietnam, he followed that kind of teaching, but of course it's for the sake of the tradition, not for himself. So anyway, so this is critical, but a lot of story that relate to him. Since I don't have much time, when we talk about Zen tradition, then I may talk more about him. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, Atisa. Yeah, please. Do you have anything about you?
Yeah, Atisa was born in the city of Vikramapura in ancient Egypt, India, and his original name was Chandragarbha. He was born into royalty. His father was the king of Bengal at the time, and he lived in the Golden Banner Palace, which was an enormous, sprawling estate with gardens, bridges, and banners. He didn't receive the name of Atisa until he traveled to Tibet as an adult. For his first 18 months, he was taken care of by 8 nurses and sheltered from the outside world. When he went his parents took him his first trip outside of the temple, of the castle or the palace. When he was 18 months old, they took him to a temple in Kamalapuri in India, and people from all over the region gathered to see him for the first time. And his parents explained to him that those people were all his subjects. And his response, which shocked his parents, was that he prayed that all his subjects may be possessed of merit like his parents, rule kingdoms that reach the summit of prosperity, be reborn as sons of kings, and be sustained by holy and virtuous deeds. And then he proceeded to worship the objects around and inside the temple, renouncing his ties to the world and his family and committing himself to religious pursuit. So he was only 18 months when this happened, so his parents knew that he was very special. according to Buddhist understanding, it's that he had acquired plentiful merit from virtuous acts in prior lives, so he was born with spiritual proficiency and a high level of compassion and kindness. He continued to study. He studied with several different Buddhist teachers all over India, Tibet, and China.
Yeah.
And there's actually quite a lot about him.
Yeah.
His parents didn't want him to be full-time a Buddhist, so they tried to get him to marry. They set up the proceedings for him to get married, and the night before he was supposed to get married, he asked to go on a hunting trip, and he actually went hunting for a Buddhist teacher, not for anything in particular. So he didn't come back home for quite some time because he went off and left and was training with different teachers, and when he would finish with one teacher, they would send him to another and another. And he finally went to one called the Black Mountain Yogi, who trained him for some time, but then sent him to get his parents' permission to renounce his throne, and his parents eventually gave permission, and he ended up becoming a monk and then going to Tibet. And when he was in Tibet, he learned some special meditation, and it became one of the most popular ways to meditate in Tibet, and he made that very popular.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay. Let me mention one thing that is part that you mentioned. You know, in Buddhist traditions, in the past, in any tradition, like Zen, Pure Land, or Tantric tradition, and so forth, the student may need to go from one teacher to other teachers to seek for the teachings until he clarified or until he's satisfied with all the teaching, or until he understands the teaching, or until he has some kind of realization before he go out to teach. So that's the Buddhist tradition. Especially for this monk, Asita, yes, like she mentioned that she has, it looks like Prince Dada, but he gave up everything, and he went to many teachers, went to study from many teachers before he became a great master of several Buddhist monasteries in India. And later on, a Tibetan king sent many groups to invite him, not once time, but many times to invite him. But lately he accepted the invitation to come to Tibet to spread Buddhism in the 10th or 11th century. And he is considered as the one who spread Buddhism according to Ben Buddhist history. He spread the classical Buddhism. And so it's very famous one in Ben. Okay, let's just move on. The next one. Shankara. Miss Moore. Oh, yeah, you have a hip, right?
Yes, I got, yeah.
Okay, what do you want? What do you have?
Can you pronounce that?
Shankara.
Okay, Shankapa,
Yes.
the Tibetan monk.
Yeah.
He was born in Shankar in the region of Amdu in 1357, fourth son of 6. And he was a prolific author of tantric literature. And a lot of people, this is what I got from the reading. A lot of people saw him as like a rebel because of his, he wanted to, let me read this and then maybe I can explain it. Okay, I believe that Sahapa has some concerns about the realizations and on emptiness and voidness that existed during his lifetime, which caused him to reform his Buddhist way of thinking in the form of philosophy that was established through his logic and spiritual references. When he established his own view as the deepest meaning of the great Indian text, he was not committing as some thought, a breach of his close bond and relationship with his teachers. Seeing his spiritual teachers as Buddha did not mean that he could not go beyond them in his realization. So, I think he was a philosopher. And he wrote a lot, he did a lot on the insight and understanding on the concept of emptiness.
Yeah. Okay.
And he had a yellow hat, he had the outfit and robe, and he was he died in a place called Gandin in 1419 at the age of 62. He attained enlightenment after his death by achieving an illusionary body instead of bardo. So could you explain that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Okay, let me summarize what he have mentioned. Buddhism died out in India. According to many scholars, because of two main reasons. Internally, the corruption within Buddhist communities, based on the tantric traditions. If you remember when we talked briefly about tantric tradition, the union of male and female, that's why the corruption. And externally, yes, the Muslim invasion. So this monk, he defies the tradition because when after Muslim invade part of India, many Indian monks fled India to Tibet and different nearby countries, and many of them went to Tibet. The reason why they carry on the tantric practice in the sense as the corrupt practice. So this monk, he defies the traditions in the way that he combined the tantric tradition with the teaching tradition. Especially he initiated what he called yellow hat, the group tradition of Dalai Lama. There's set the guideline for monks and nuns to follow the Buddha precept traditionally. But all traditions like yellow and white hat, black hat, and so forth, they have families. The reason why, remember I told you, right? If you visit Japan, you won't be surprised as you have married monks and nuns. And even when you go to visit or study from Tibetan master, you have to be selective. Because some of them are married, some of them are not. Especially for the yellow hat of Dalai Lama, they keep the monks precept as others, but others said they not. So that's why he made that kind of recognition. And plus, when we talk about Dalai Lama, we know he is the one who initiated that kind of Dalai Lama tradition too. Okay? Yes, let us move on. And when we talk about Bardo, we have time to come back. Okay, Guinang, Christina, what do you have? You have anything to say?
Not a lot.
Okay, go ahead. What's special about you?
He is known as one of the, I think he's the last patriarch.
You can say that.
He's a Chinese monk. He's from a poor family. I thought it was strange because I read that he wrote a certain sutra.
No, sutra, the verses. He wrote the verses.
But he was illiterate.
Yeah.
Okay.
He say out for someone to write. Yeah.
Dictate.
He did, yeah, someone to dictate.
Yeah, and I know that he was mummified. I don't know if is it still around because they
Yeah.
photographed him. That's amazing because he died in like the 700s.
Yeah, this is since 7th or 8th century and up to now, his body is still there in China.
Oh, the mummified.
No, not mummified. His real body. Yeah,
Say it again.
his real body is still there.
It is still there.
And not only him, many monks, many monks in the past still have that kind of body. So in Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Tibet, and so forth.
How do they keep it?
They don't
Preserved?
keep.
not the physical body.
The physical body.
How do they keep it?
Yeah, let me
preserved?
finish the story and come back.
Okay,
Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, now again. So he was uneducated monk. Actually, at first he was layman, and he was uneducated one. So he went to see the what you call the fifth patriarchs, and at that time this fifth patriarch say to his student that, okay, you guys write the verse, like making a contest. If you write the right verse, I will pass the rope and bowl to you. In Buddhism, rope and bowl represent the authorities of the patrons, of the teachers, of the master. You understand that? So it's very significant. So of course many of them try.